All right, this is Patrick Rogers, and today we have the privilege to have Abbas Heider on the show. And Abbas is the founder and CEO of Aspetto Incorporated. Welcome to the show, Abbas.
Thank you for having me.
You bet, man. So, a little bit about Abbas. His journey from fashion to defense reflects a remarkable dedication to innovation and global influence, starting with a luxury men's bespoke clothing brand. Hyder's endeavors involved into the creation of America's first bullet-resistant clothing line, showcasing a commitment to addressing real-world challenges. In the defense sector, Aspetto, under Hyder's leadership, emerged as a top contractor for protective goods. They strategically expanded into tech, focusing on space and missile defense, demonstrating dedication to cutting edge solutions. Innovations in engineering, including advancements in 3D printing, led to multiple patented technologies, solidifying their trailblazing position. Beyond traditional industries, his vision extended into the digital realm through the acquisition of a media company with 1 million followers on various social platforms. This strategic move expanded their reach and facilitated meaningful engagement with diverse communities. With a multi-million-dollar valuation and products spanning 30 plus countries, Aspetto's global impact is undeniable. Their commitment to philanthropy and community engagement through charitable activities, events, and mentorship initiatives underscores their dedication to uplifting and inspiring future generations worldwide. Sounds like you're building a phenomenal organization that's doing phenomenal things, Abbas. I can't wait to dive in more about it. Before we do, what's one interesting fact about yourself that maybe not many people know?
Uh, Moved here when I was 12 from
Yeah.
Pakistan.
Mm.
I I had when I was, I think, 6, 7 years old. I had a company where I would take used computer parts and try to sell them in the market. That's when my parents started getting pissed because I would take working computer
Right.
pieces from work and just from home and
Uh-huh.
and just try to sell those. I had an import export company senior year of high school
Holy
that got
cow.
me all the connections overseas. So yeah,
That's pretty interesting. In high school, having the that entrepreneurial spirit to do an import export business.
yes. I mean, didn't make much money, lost all the money, whatever. Whenever I was working, whatever paycheck I was getting was going straight into it, and heard a lot of rejections, a lot.
How do you even like, because when I was in high school, right, I was playing football and into girls and whatever, causing trouble, throwing pumpkins out of cars at 55 miles an hour. How do you even get to a place in high school where you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna open up an import export business? Like, how does that
Yeah.
happen?
Well, I was still into girls, and it's always nice to use that line that I'm a CEO of a company in high school.
That's true. Yeah.
That helped. But growing up in Pakistan, my grandpa had an import-export company, and I would always just hear those stories of how he was doing business internationally, and it just seemed so glamorous. And once I got into it, I realized it's not glamorous at
Not
all.
that glamorous.
Yeah, it sucked. But it still, laid the foundation for what Aspetto is today.
Gotcha. So speaking of, tell us more about Aspetto.
You know, the official line is that we provide innovative solutions to the government, military, and our intelligence community, protecting their interests, their human assets, and their infrastructure. But I like the more like tech to tactical. We've got you covered because uh, we offer so much.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, we started from the clothing line, and then got into created America's first bullet-resistant clothing line. Got into tactical line, concealable line. We're one of the top 5 body armor suppliers in the country. We recently actually just won the contract to outfit everyone on the border
Mm,
for CBP
wow.
to outfit them with their body armor. So that's what we're known for. But we were also the first ones to introduce the female body armor to the U.S. Air Force. So
Wow.
we've got thousands of female security forces airmen wearing our body armor. Wanted to get into the tech side, so we acquired multiple companies that were focused on, again, mostly on the government contracting side. But
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
idea for us is to get into an industry, learn what everybody else is doing, and then do something differently. We did that
Gotcha.
with clothing, introduced armor clothing, got into tactical, introduced some patented components that are being used all over the country, all over the world now. And we're doing the same thing on the tech side.
Gotcha. So you've been purchasing companies, getting into that industry, diving in headfirst in the industry, and then finding a
Yeah,
differentiating value proposition.
absolutely. And acquisitions, as you know, M&A are not easy. It's not fun. Another thing I thought would be glamorous and fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
but my God, it's definitely taken some years off my life.
Well, we should have a talk after this then.
Absolutely.
Cool. Um, yeah. So it's been, when did you start the company again?
I was a freshman year of college in 2008.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Awesome.
not
So what
young
have,
anymore.
not young anymore. So, so that strategy, I love that strategy where you're getting in, you're acquiring companies,
Yeah.
and then finding a way to be different. That's, blue ocean versus red ocean, right? I mean, you're taking it to
Mhm.
a whole nother level. What other kind of things
By
have
the way,
been,
Blue Ocean, that book, oh my God, so dry. I don't want to talk about that. Do not bring that up.
I actually read that book. It was recommended to me by a number of people, and I read it, and I'm like,
Yes,
okay, but what do I do with it? Okay,
exactly.
you could have summarized, and I mean, I shouldn't talk too loud, but you could have summarized it in one sentence, right? Get a UVP. All right, good. Okay, cool. Um, so I know you mentioned that the business processes and implementing automation has been pretty key for your ability to scale.
hmm So that's something that um, I'm not a techie guy. I don't know how to code. Something
Yeah,
I'm trying to learn, but it's you within our industry. I think government contracting is especially the products and services that companies are offering to the U.S. government are so far behind, and you have to truly stay in touch with what's happening in Silicon Valley, and everywhere where technology is prominent. So that's something that I wanted to bring into the government contracting side. There's so many processes that we do day to day that can just be automated, that can help with customer service, that can help with just getting statuses on orders and all that. So
yeah,
uh, I had all these incredibly talented people on our team that were doing other things. And when I finally approached them, I'm like, hey, tell me exactly what can you do other than what you're doing? And they're like, yeah, well,
Mm,
we can do robotics. We're mechatronics engineers. We can also do coding and everything. I'm like, hey, I've got all this talent within my company that are
yeah,
engineers and space
yeah,
engineers
yeah.
and programmers. Let me utilize them. So we're actually now building these automation tools in house.
Oh, wow.
We've got a lot of
Okay.
people use Salesforce, NetSuite, and Monday, and all those. But what I find is that those tools are not very industry specific. I
Mm,
don't really care to sell this automation platform that we've built in house. If it works, maybe we might be able to license it out to some other partner companies and all that. But I wanted something that works for me, and
mm,
that's exactly what we're doing.
yeah. Fantastic. So automation and processes, business process have been so important that you brought in your own staff of people to design it in-house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. Um, and you talk about empowering your team. What does
Mhm.
empowering your team mean to you?
Uh, Letting them think creatively, allow them to ask questions, um, encourage that startup mentality, right? Like I think that companies become stale when something works for them and they
Mm,
stick with it.
mm,
I'm a big believer in not having when you're starting a business, you're writing these business plans and your 5-year plans and your 10-year plans. I
sure,
think then a lot of times you need that, right? Like if you're getting a loan from a bank or you're getting investors, you need those things.
you need that.
But I think that they actually, and this is just my opinion, I don't know a whole lot, but I think they actually kill creativity because as you learn, as you spend more and more time in your business, it opens up your eyes to other opportunities, and you have to be able to pivot or add on services.
Mm,
So it's the same thing, right? Like we created a division within our company called Aspetto Labs. Aspetto Labs was just, engineers developing products, 3D printing them, patenting, but it also opened up our eyes to other technologies that are out there that we can invest in. So all of a sudden, the same engineers are saying, hey, rather than building this, why don't we go invest in that one? And we can
Mm,
actually use that technology to push it to the government and say, come take a look. I mean, I'll give you an example. There's one company that came to us for production assistance. We ended up investing in that company. We became partners. We got equity in it, but they were mostly commercial. We ended up using their products, manufacturing their products, having
yeah,
equity in that company, and
yeah,
pushing it to our NATO allies. And we ended up winning a multi-million-dollar contract overseas. So it's a win-win for everyone. The valuation of
totally.
the company goes up, your equity in the company is more valuable, and you're manufacturing it, and you're the prime contractor. We've invested in companies in the UK that are focused on wearable technology. It just I think it's really exciting and allowing your team to come up with those ideas.
Mm, yeah, I mean, I say this all the time. People support what they help create, right?
Absolutely, there's a sense of ownership, right? Like that was
Totally.
my idea.
Yeah.
I've got a guy that works on our team. He's 25 years old and he's done multi-million dollars worth of business overseas in Australia and NATO. Now he's about to do in Uganda and Zambia. And he joined our team as a warehouse assembly guy.
Wow.
He was a senior in college.
Uh-huh.
Then joined the office team, and he's 25 years old. And I
Yeah.
love seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That's fantastic. Um, kind of talking about this, I want to go back to this acquisition thing and because it sounds like this diversification has been a pretty big strategic move for you guys.
Mhm.
That you said it's starting to pay off. So what has what's really the difference in your company once you started diversifying? And you're diversifying across a number of different industries, right? You said.
Yes.
So what are the industries that you're focusing on now?
So far we've done the digital media company
Uh-huh.
that you spoke about
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the intro,
Uh-huh.
and I'll tell you how it all connects. Then we went into tech, obviously investing into these startups and all those as well. The idea is it is our understanding that it is the government contracting side. So right now, we're only focused on government contracting, and we will be expanding into more commercial side soon. But it's step by step phase, right? We
So
think
each
that
one of
it
your
is
industries is all they're all government contracting right
the
now?
digital media was not,
Okay.
but the digital media, their entire audience
Mhm.
of approximately 1 million users are either currently serving members, or they're veterans, or they're law enforcement.
Got it.
So, what better way to get in touch with your end user? So, their audience is my end user. What
Sure.
better way to get in touch with your end user than to post something,
Right,
right?
right.
The first thing we did on that was we launched an online newspaper for our military veteran community. So
Yeah,
where they can get the news, because you want to be able to have that credibility that we're providing news, we're bringing value to you. There was already value that we were bringing to them, but the very first thing that I did after that was I knew the DoD was struggling with their recruiting numbers. Right, this is the worst crisis since I think the 1970s. Their numbers are terrible.
mm,
There are a lot of reasons for that. That's a podcast for a different day. But
right, right.
National Guard. So we ended up getting a contract with National Guard to help them recruit, because their target market was our user.
Mm,
So government contracting, right? And how did we get that contract? We went to them and we said, "Hey, listen, we know you buy body armor from us,
right.
and you might not be the right person, but you know someone within the agency who's looking for this help. Can you
Yeah,
connect us?"
yeah.
Right? So at this point, Aspetto has sold to every agency in the country. Doesn't matter if it's Department of Agriculture, Department of Energy, Department of Interior, whatever it is, Secret Service, the DoD. We've sold at least one product to them
Sure.
or
Wow.
service, right?
Yeah.
So at least we have that one point of contact.
Yeah, you have one contact. Penetrate.
I've got teams on the tech side. It's the same idea, right? You've got a lot of your team members that are on government side. We've got Fort Huachuca, we got Peterson Air Force Base. So it's like whenever my team wants to get into, I don't know, military police in Fort Huachuca, they'll call up the team in Fort Huachuca and say, "Listen, can you try to find out who handles this?" They're on
Mm,
base. They can find that, right? So it is all connected in that
mm,
sense.
gotcha. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. So what's next for you guys? What's next for Aspetto?
The next is the most recent thing that we talked about in our meeting was we want to continue exploring into different innovations we can invest in. You again utilize the team, focus on automation because 2024, I want this to be a big automation year. The other thing I really want to focus on is I really want to get our customer service top notch. I want to raise the standard for the
Mm,
government contractors. I want everyone to be forced to rise up to our standard, the kind of customer service we provide.
mm,
You go, and now connecting back to how you started, we started with bespoke clothing, right?
right.
When you buy a bespoke suit, what do? You go schedule an appointment, you sit down with a consultant, you spend an hour, two
Right. The
hours, and
whole
you're
nine.
truly treated like a king,
Yeah.
right? Government contractors
Yeah. Not
do
so
not
much.
provide that kind of service,
No.
right?
No.
There's a contracting officer who is
Mm,
just treated like an agency, an
mhm,
organization.
mhm.
But at the end of the day, you're forgetting they're people.
They're still
The
people.
same emotions go into purchasing government products, going into procurement, are the same as you when you go out buy a suit in a way,
Yeah.
right? So you have to be able to make them feel a certain way, make them feel good, provide that level of customer service. So this year, I really want to focus on bringing the industry standard up where we're providing that customer service what they deserve. Because I don't care if they're buying a $20 pair of sock uh, for for a
Yeah.
warfighter
Yeah.
or they're buying
Yeah.
$130 million worth of body armor. Everyone needs to deserves that customer service, and we'll get that customer service from us.
Sounds like a big undertaking. What kind of things, what kind of steps are you going to do to do that?
So, as I said, going back to the whole automation thing, rather than the customer reaching out and finding statuses, keeping them in the loop, right?
Mm.
Um, Same thing with vendors. We have over 38,000 SKUs that we deal with different suppliers. We have our own
Wow.
manufacturing. We sell our own products too, but there are a lot of products that we don't make. So just because our resources are limited to our team is there's only so many people that can handle this. I want to automate the entire thing,
Yeah.
but just I think the biggest thing for the end user is to get their product on time and be
Mhm.
up to date.
Yeah.
But how will we know what they're looking for? We're in the process of interviewing our customers.
There.
What is it that you need?
Yeah.
And always go that extra mile, right? Like one of the things, like we have a contract in DC, and we know that the customer is struggling with a certain issue that we just talked about last night,
Mm.
and that's not part of our statement of work. We're not
Mm.
supposed to do it, but we have the ability to do it because we have those people, and might not cost a lot. So just building it and offering it to them, that and not going in with that mindset that you need to buy this. Say,
Mm.
listen, my team is struggling with this issue that you're facing. Can I make my team's life easier by providing this solution?
Yeah.
It's a
Got it.
win-win for everyone.
I love it. If you were going to hire a CEO to take the reins for your company, what's the one book you'd require he or she read before taking over for you, man?
Yeah. So we spoke about it earlier. The IPO playbook.
Yeah.
Steve Cakebread
Yeah.
wrote an incredible book. I think you always have to be forward thinking, and when you even if you don't have a plan of going IPO or anything, I think you should always be operating at that level.
Yeah.
The same scrutiny, the same. Don't even have to get audits done every year, but you will operate at a certain efficiency level. Steve Cakebread, by the way, great guy. He's on our board of advisors.
Oh, is that
He
right? Awesome.
Yeah, he took Salesforce public, he took Yext public, he took
Oh, wow.
Pandora public. So that was after I read the book. I reached out to him. He loved our company and agreed to be on our board. The one book that I
Good job, man.
read recently, thank you. The one book that I read recently was Unreasonable Hospitality, which is my whole kick about
Interesting.
customer service. Just
Okay.
realizing that, holy crap, like customer service truly matters. You can't just meet your minimum statement of work and be done with it.
Yeah.
It is you really, doesn't matter if the customer is buying today or next year. You
Yeah.
have to provide that level of customer service, and they deserve it.
Yeah. Wow. Very good. I've not read that book, so I've written it down. I'm going to check that one out. I
Yes,
love
please
anything
do.
that's customer related and just how to really
Yeah.
maximize the customer experience. Anything you do to maximize retention, right?
Mhm.
What does it cost? What do they say? It's like 5 to 7 times to the cost to get a new client versus keeping, your existing clients. So,
It
yeah.
must be true. If you're saying it
Yeah,
must be true, I,
it's
I,
something
I
like
actually
that.
don't
It's
know
it's
that
at least
number.
7 times, the cost to maintain them. So, well, cool. So let me take just a few minutes and summarize some of my key takeaways. One, I love your acquisition strategy. You're looking at kind of related industries, get into that industry, learn what everyone else is doing, and then find a way to be unique. Find a way to differentiate yourself so that you're offering something that nobody can really compete with, ideally.
Mhm.
You're taking automation to the next level. You brought in in-house coders and in-house process developers to take your company to the next level. And I love that because you're continuously reinventing the wheel, continuously driving optimization and growth. Fantastic. Um, Empowerment. You are absolutely empowering your team to reinvent themselves, not allowing anybody to stay stale. I can tell from the way you're talking and everything. And you're reinventing customer service, unreasonable hospitality. So you're doing a couple things. You're keeping the customers updated, which in today's day and age, they want that, right? You look at Amazon, and if they're going to be a day late, boom, you get the email that tells you, hey, this is running a little bit late, and people
Exactly.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
And then, of course, getting the product on time and updated.
Mhm.
Abbas, if there was one takeaway that you'd really want the audience to absorb, what would that be?
I think we just talked about Steve Cakebread
Yeah,
being on our board.
yeah,
There are a couple of things, actually. It's you can I don't think you can boil it down to one. It's be open minded. Don't
mm,
be so stiff in your business plan where, this is our vision, we're going to stick with it, and that is it. I think you can have a broader vision. Like when a long time ago, 15 years ago, when I started Aspetto, all I said was I wanted to be an international brand, and then that's why I got into clothing. I knew clothing the best at the time, so I got into that. But how do we do it can be in various different ways. It could be, body armor. It could be hotels. It could be anything,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
just being open to that change, I think, is extremely important. And the reason why we're able to expand and look at all these different opportunities is because we've broadened our circle. Um, you know, uh, we're based out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. It's a small town in Virginia. If we, you know, we've been in the news here. Rob and I, my business partner and I, we made the Forbes 30 under 30 list. We gave the commencement speech at Mary Washington. If we had just stuck with Fredericksburg, like we're the big deal in Fredericksburg, we would have never grown. You need to expand your circle. You need to focus on whatever makes you uncomfortable, uncomfortable conversations where you just don't know anything. Like I don't know anything about AI or whatever. Like surround yourself with people that will force you to learn, that will
mm,
force you to go,
yeah,
reach out and learn. So and not be afraid to reach out to people, right? Like as I said, I read the book, the IPO Playbook, ended up messaging
reach out to
Steve
the author. Yeah,
Cakebread, and
yeah,
and he's like, "Yep, looked into your company. My wife loves your company, so I'm gonna go ahead and say yes."
yeah,
Right? I've
yeah.
reached out to Mark Cuban, and he's been extremely friendly and
Oh,
responded to
he
my
responded to
emails.
you? That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Very cool, man.
Absolutely.
Very
Right.
cool.
Same thing with unreasonable hospitality. I reached out to Will, the author, and he reached
Yeah.
back out to me. So
I-
don't be afraid to do that. Just take the first step. What's the worst that's going to happen? As an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
you've heard enough rejections.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Totally. I'm with
so
you, man. In fact, that's how I met my mentor. I reached out to him. He wrote this book here, 40 years M&A guy, doing billion-dollar deals. And so
yeah,
he's my mentor. So same thing. Love it.
yeah.
Cool. So Abbas, if any of our listeners wanted to reach out and get a hold of you for any follow-up questions, or perhaps someone wants to utilize your business services, how could they do that?
Well, you can go to obviously aspetto.com, aspetto.com. Um, you can, I don't use
LinkedIn.
Instagram a whole lot, but love to travel. It's called Travel Like a Boss.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
yeah, so they can reach out on that, or they can just email me, abbas@aspettoinc.com, ABBAS at ASPETTOINC.com.
Very good. Abbas, again, thank you for being on the show, man. So much great information
Yeah,
for our
pleasure meeting you. This was exciting.
Yeah, same here. For the listeners out there, please hit the like and subscribe button and help us spread the word about what we're doing. We're helping the next generation of CEOs and leaders be that much more successful. With that, this is your host, Patrick Rogers, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.